The question is, what happens if my tenant stops paying rent? Now, that was a question I just got, okay? That's an understandable concern, of course. But again, it's not quite the best question. Better questions are absolutely going to help you reveal experience level of the company you're hiring. And you want the most experience you could possibly have. The better question, instead, what you should be asking: what is your process for preventing bad tenants in the first place? Professional screening is going to include something like credit analysis, income verification, rental history verification, background screening, employment confirmation, etc. The biggest mistake inexperienced companies make is approving tenants too quickly. Experienced companies know that a bad tenant costs far more than a few extra days of vacancy.
Fraud is on the rise significantly with tenant applications. And I mean, here we have invested so much in software and technology to combat that fraud. I mean, we ask our applicants to connect their bank accounts. So this is like through like a plaid-like thing. I'm sure everybody knows what that is. We connect with the work number to verify their employment. There's certain things that we do to verify their actual identity. Fake. You can go online. You can get fake pay stubs. You can get a fake ID. You can get a fake everything. And it's like a part of a package. You know what I mean? I think it was in Atlanta, and it was almost 50% of applications are fraudulent. It's not a bad question, but dive into it. What is your process when a tenant stops paying? Right? I mean, like, we are on it like right away. On day 2, we start sending emails and texts. By day 10 to 15, we are talking about an eviction. We're calling the owner and talking about the possibility of an eviction. Like you said, you got to move fast. You can't wait 30 days or 60 days or like, no. It needs to be yesterday.
And not only that, it's not only communication with the tenant, which is obviously important, it's communication with the owner as well. Right, which is huge. So not only what happens when my tenant pays rent in the aspect of what are you going to do to hold them accountable, but I also want to know, how am I going to be informed? How soon am I going to be informed? Because this is going to make an impact on my daily life, right? On the mortgage payment I have to make on this property. So that communication is also important. That's why expanding your question is going to reveal that entire process, not just the results and the consequences for the tenant, because there's so much more that is important when such a simple thing happens, like your tenant not paying rent.
I can tell you that here at Red Door on the 5th, if we don't have a payment from the tenant, we're reaching out to the owner to say, hey, the tenant hasn't paid. We're working with them. Hopefully we have a story or what's going on. We'll give them an update. But hey, just so you know, your distribution might be delayed this month.
We do not hide from those hard conversations, whether it's reducing your rent in order to produce applications and put a tenant in your home, or whether that is, I'm sorry to say that your tenant didn't pay on time, and here's what we're doing to ensure that they pay and hold them accountable to prevent habitual offenders. That's your question of the week, so that you can evaluate property management companies a little bit more thoroughly. So I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to jump back into this month's market report so you can see what's going on in the market that you're currently involved in, or maybe it's a market that you're interested in getting into. Aside from that, that's a wrap. We'll catch you guys later.